Hello students, today we'll discuss about memory types. In previous video we have discussed about the memory types. Okay, so then we have discussed asynchronous memory, then synchronous memory. Again in the synchronous memory we have two types, that is flow through SRAM and pipeline SRAM. So in previous class we have discussed about the flow through SRAM, its timing diagram. Okay, today we'll discuss about one example on the flow through SRAM and we'll discuss about the pipeline SRAM. Okay, first example is that in your prescribed book, the example number 5.1, it is about the coefficient multiplier. What is that example? Design a circuit that computes the function y is equal to ci into x square, where x is the binary coded input value and ci is the coefficient stored in a flow through SRAM. X, ci, y are all signed fixed point values with 8-bit pre-primary and 12 post-binary point bits. The index I is also an input to the circuit encoded as a 12-bit unsigned integer. Values for x and I arise at the input during the cycle when a control input start is 1. The circuit should minimize area by using single multiplier to multiply ci by x and then by x again. Okay, so this is example. Now we'll discuss how to solve this example. Okay, first we'll discuss about the size of the memory. Actually we have to solve the function y is equal to ci into x square. Okay, and it will have area restricted. Okay, so we have to multiply ci by x and then x. So total number of locations is given by the input index I. Okay, and this input index I is 12-bit unsigned integer. Okay, so the total memory location, so there are 12 input lines. 12-bit means 12 input lines you'll get. So 2 raised to 12 means 2 raised to 10 into 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 10 into 2 raised to 2 means 2 raised to 10 is equal to 1k and 2 raised to 2 means 4k. So therefore the size of the memory is equal to 4k and it will have 8 pre-binary points and 12 post-binary points. Okay, so input x, y, ci are the 20-bit signed fixed point numbers. Okay, so therefore 8 pre-binary points and 12 post-binary points means we require 20-bit at each locations. What is the size of the memory? Then the size of the memory is 4k into 20-bit. How many are the data lines? Data lines will be the 20. And how many are the address lines? Address lines will be the 12. Okay, so we have to use a single multiplier to save area. So therefore we have to multiply ci into x and then x. Okay, so then we'll see what is the data path for the coefficient multiplier. Okay, so data path for this coefficient multiplier, it requires, so as it is required flow through SRAM, so this is flow through SRAM and the size of the flow through SRAM is 4k into 20-bit. Okay, so as it is a 4k, so it will have address lines. Okay, these are address lines and it will be given by an index I. So it will be again 12-bit address line. Okay, ci input, it is the data, coefficient is the data and this is also 20-bit. Okay, one more data is x, that will be given by a register. Okay, this is also 20-bit. So therefore these are the 20-bit lines. This is address lines, it's 12-bit. This is 20-bit line. This is 20-bit line. So all are these are the data lines are the 20 bits. Okay, we require to select either this data or this data, so we require multiplexes, we require multiplier, and to store the temporary result we require the register. Okay, these are the requirements of the circuit. Now see that this is SRAM. Okay, static SRAM. So address lines, data lines. Then we require the control signals. Control signals are the enable and write. So as it is a static synchronous, means it requires clock. Okay, so the control signals are the CRAM enable, CRAM write. Another control signal is, so this input register, that is we require to store the temporary data onto the input register, that is CRAM chip enable. We require one more control signal. Okay, we have to select either this data or this data. We have to select either this data or this data, or okay, out of this data. So for that we require selection line, that is multi selection. Okay, and we have required the output register chip enable, so that is Y chip enable, and total clock signal value for all the SRAM and the registers we require. Okay, now first multiplication will be done when this coefficient, that is Ci, and this will be X, it will be multiplied and it will be temporarily stored here. Then multiplexer select line will be changed and it will select multiplexer line will be 1 and this also 1. At that time this data will be here, that is X, and this will be Ci into X, it is there. Hence, so Ci into X square will be finally stored into the output register, and that will be moved on to the output LEDs. So how it will be controlled, we will see the timing diagram of this. Okay, so the timing diagram of this you can see here. So this is the timing diagram for the coefficient multiplier. So this is the control signal, and this control signal enables the multiplication. Okay, so when it will be high, that is start input will be high, then it will start the multiplication, otherwise it will go into the wait state. So first state it is an idle state, or you can say it is a wait state. First it is an idle state or wait, it is waiting for the start input, so hence it will not move further. If it is equal to 1, then it will go to the step 1. Okay, so that in the step 1 what it will do, index value stored into SRAM address. Okay, so index value stored into the SRAM address, that will be selected. Okay, and input X, both values are selected and it will be multiplied. Okay, so input value X and index value, that will be multiplied and it will be stored into the input register. Okay, so in the first it will select input, that is Ci, and it will select X. Okay, so those inputs are selected here. In the second step it will be multiplied. Okay, step 2. So as mult select is equal to 0, as mult select is equal to 0, you can see here mult select is 0 here. This mult select is equal to 0, and hence it will select the operands, that is coefficient from the flow through SRAM and coefficient from the X register. Okay, input register, and it will take this, multiply it, and it will store into the output register. Okay, so in the step 3, so multiplication will be done by the whatever the data already multiplied, that will be stored into the output register, that we need to select. Hence we have to make mult select input is equal to 1. Okay, so here mult select input is equal to 1, and when mult select input is equal to 1, then it will change the data, that is it will take x value, and then it will take the another value that is already stored into the output register, that will be taken and it will be multiplied and it will be stored into the output register. In this way, in the step 3 will complete the multiplication, and the next state will be again we have to go for the wait state for the another multiplication. Okay, so here we require the control signals. What are the control signals we require? That is CRAM enable, X chip enable, mult select, Y chip enable. Okay, so particular signals will be high or particular signals will be activated at a particular time. For that purpose, we already know that is data path will be controlled by the control section, and the control section is nothing but it will have finite state machine. Okay, now this diagram represents the finite state machine. So finite state machine, it will generate control sequences. So control sequences, into that you will have the same sequence of the signal, that is first control signal is CRAM enable, second control signal is X chip enable, then mult select, and then Y chip enable. These are the control signals, and these are the control signals, and these are the 4 control signals. Okay, in step 1 we can see here that is CRAM enable is equal to high, then X chip enable is equal to high, mult select is equal to 0, Y chip enable is equal to 0. Means at in step 1 and ideal state is also there will be one ideal state and step 1 here it is. Okay, if start input is equal to 0, then we have to wait into the step 1. If start input is equal to 1, then we have to produce this output, and then we have to go for the next step 2. Okay, so in step 1 it is output is equal to 1 1 0 0, that is respectively, that is CRAM enable, X chip enable, mult select and Y chip enable. Then in the step 2 you can see this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and this must be equal to Y chip. We have to activate, so that we have to store the temporary multiplication. Okay, so therefore 0 0 0 and 1, these are the output, and then we have to proceed to step 3. In the step 3 you can see the control signals, this is 0, this is 0, and mult select we have to make it high, and then Y chip select is equal to high. So therefore 0 0 1 1 will be the output of the finite state machine in step number 3, and then next state will be the wait state again. Okay, so this is finite state machine, and this is a Murray style machine. Already you know that is a Mealy machine and Murray machine, so this will be the Murray type machine. Okay, so this is about coefficient multiplier. Okay, I think we will get this coefficient multiplier, and then we will go towards next point, that is Verilog model of flow through SRAM. How to generate Verilog model for the flow through SRAM. Okay, RAM storage represented by an array variable. RAM storage is represented by an array variable. Declare an array variable with an index corresponding to its location in the memory. Okay, how many locations are there into memory that we have to represent, and how much is the width, that much vector we have to generate at the index. So what will be the here, that is we have to give, so we have to declare likewise, that is register 15 down to 0, this is a vector. Okay, and these are the locations. Okay, so 0 to 4095. In above example that there are the 4K memory, so there is, so these many locations will be there. Okay, and then next we have to go for the you represent input and outputs. Okay, that is initial block you have to define, and then we have to go for the always block. So always block to represent read write operation. Okay, in the read write operation, you know that what is the flow through SRAM. In the flow through SRAM, you will have only input register, it don't have output register. Okay, means, and as the name indicates, it is a flow through SRAM. Always data will be moved from the input and into the next cycle you have to move it onto the output lines. Okay, so how to represent flow through SRAM? Here it is. If enable is equal to 1 and if write is equal to 1, we have to begin data RAM. Okay, so what is the address location? So whatever the data onto the input data lines, that will be stored into the data RAM location. Okay, data will be stored into the RAM location. Okay, and also we have to move input data onto the output line as it is a flow through SRAM. So this is for flow through SRAM. Okay, we have to do it, that is as it is a flow through SRAM. Okay, input data is stored into the address location given by the address lines, and we have to move the data onto the output lines also. If it is a write is equal to 1, if write is equal to 0, then we have to go for read operation. So read operation is nothing but that is we have to read the data from the address locations indicated by the address. So here you can see the data from the address location that will be given here. That address location, whatever the contents of the address location, that will be moved on to the output data. Okay, so this is how we have to represent the flow through SRAM. Okay, then we will discuss about the pipeline SRAM. Okay, so pipeline SRAM, this is another type of the SRAM. Okay, it has register on input side as well as on output side. Okay, in previous case in flow through SRAM, it have register on input side only, as it has a drawback, that is it will not have faster memory speed or access time. It is slow access time. So improve access time, we have to use output register also. So that improvement will be done here. Okay, into the pipeline SRAM. Okay, so this is another type of SRAM, static RAM, synchronous static RAM. It has input register as well as the output register. It is useful for the higher speed system where the access time of the memory is significant proportion of the clock cycle time. If there is no time to perform combinational operation in one or in the same clock cycle, so or read data before the next clock age, it needs to store onto the output register. So data will be read and it will be stored into the output register and it will be used for the further. Okay, and it is used for the subsequent clock cycles. In this way it will saves the time required for the memory access. Okay, you can see the timing diagram. You can see the timing diagram here. Okay, timing diagram is same as that of input write operation will be as like same flow through SRAM. So you can see the write operation, it will be same as like the flow through SRAM. Okay, difference is that in the data output does not reflect at the output in the same clock cycle. Here data will not reflect in the same clock cycle, but it will be reflected onto the next clock cycle. Okay, okay, either read or in write operation. If it is a Write operation, in write operation it will, in flow through SRAM it will be directly moved, but in case of pipeline SRAM it will be moved into the next clock cycle, either read or write operation. Okay, but it will be output in the next clock cycle. Okay, so you can see here in the first clock cycle it will be moved on to the next output data link. So here in the next clock cycle, so that will be data that is indicated by MA2, that will be moved on to the output data links. So this is about the pipeline SRAM to improve the speed or to improve the access time. Okay, so that's all about today's video. We'll stop here.